There are times where you might come across a great supplier or a brand that offers unbelievable pricing, but on the downside is that they have very, very long lead times. The products might be coming from overseas and it could take 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks for the products to arrive. In these types of scenarios, analysis needs to be performed much differently. You need to be very careful with what you buy to ensure what you're buying is going to be profitable in the long run. In this video, I'm going to show you an approach that you can take, which is going to make things much faster, and it's going to help you with your accuracy, and it's going to help you maintain high profitability. So let's jump in. This is the price list we're going to use in our example. It's just a regular supplier price list. There's a few brands in there. There's around 1,500 products, but this is the list we're going to use to show you how to best approach basically working on price lists or suppliers that have long lead times. Let's now throw our list into our scanner. We're going to use the UPC to match the ASINs. So let's use UPC. We're going to use the unit price. There's an item number in here and a description somewhere there. Let's go ahead and upload that list. Okay, so a few things that you need to consider when you're working with these price lists or suppliers that have long lead times. Now, what's the point of working with them? They probably have good pricing. Otherwise, what's the point? They either have already or automatically they have good pricing, or they can offer you a discount, like a 10, 15, 20% discount if if they have to order the products for you and get it. So you just have to order up front. So that's kind of the approach you're going for with all this. Now, having said that, we said how do we approach lists that have a 4 to 6 week lead time. Now, you have to consider that by the time the products arrive and then you can actually send them to Amazon, that could mean up to 8 weeks. So in my opinion, it's very important not to pay up front. If you're paying up front for these types of things, then that means your capital is being tied up for 2 months plus. And you definitely don't want that. I understand how a lot of private label sellers do that. They have to do that. They have to pay up front, because they're working with manufacturers in China and all that. I understand that, but when you're getting a supplier to order products for you, they still belong to the supplier until they belong to you. So in my opinion, even 50-50 is not very reasonable. If the lead time is like 6 to 8 weeks, it might be okay if the lead time is around 2 weeks to pay 50 upfront and 50 upon arrival. But in my opinion, and most cases where I've worked with suppliers that do this, I pay upon arrival. When the supplier receives them, I pay them and then they release them to me. That's the way I work with them. So in many of these cases, you're actually getting good pricing, real good pricing. And it's the only reason why you'd want to do this and you'd wait for so long for the products to arrive. So having said that, let's go ahead and look at these products. Now we're going for the products with high sales volume. So we have to really single out the products with high sales volume because we're trying to make a large, place a large order. So let's go ahead and apply a filter and just look at the products that have a sales estimate of more than 100 units per month. So more than 100. And let's hit apply. And now we're looking at around 69 products that have more than 100 sales per month out of this entire list. So there's not many that were selling in high volume. There were 1,500 to begin with, and now we've got 69 products. All right. Now, one of the most important things when you're looking at products with long lead times is to make sure that they are profitable long term. So we want to look at their history and see if they've been profitable historically, if they've been a good product or a bad product to buy. And one of the easiest ways to see this is by looking at this column right here where it says break even category. Notice this column. Now, what the dollar amount that is displayed there shows you your break even. So that's the point where you have zero profit or zero loss. No profit, no loss. It's just right in the middle, break even. Now, the color that's behind it is telling you if it's a strong break even or not. So meaning it's been historically strong or historically weak. So if I was to click on all the ones that are red, meaning a bad score, you'll see, if I go to their charts, you'll see that historically they've been losers. Notice the break even line over here at the top. Yes, there's a tiny bit of profit right now, but historically it's been a huge loser for this one. If I were to go to one that was green, for example, like this one right here, I'll notice the opposite. The break-even line is below the buy box. You can see that even though Amazon is selling this product, I can see that the break-even line is all the way at the bottom there. Let's look at a few more examples. So this one here is light red. Let's go ahead and check that one out. So it's light red. You see that it's been below the break-even line. So you can pretty much just filter by score, by the break-even score, and find the products that actually make sense. Here's another one that's green. This one will show the opposite. There you go. Break-even line is down here at $17 and the price has been historically around $20, $22, $24. So that break-even strength, just by looking at the color, you can actually instantly understand if it's been profitable or not profitable. So let's start moving forward with this and actually try to place an order out of this list. We're trying to go for a high volume order. So let's assume that our supplier will be giving us a 15% discount if we're going to go for a high volume order. So let's go ahead and apply a discount to this list. So I'm going to click on actions and we're going to click on adjust COGS right here. And here you can apply a discount. You can apply a surcharge as well if you want, but if you want to apply a discount, just type in -15. So that's a -15% discount. You can also apply a discount in a dollar amount if that works for you, but in most scenarios, it's a percentage discount. So now instantly, this whole list has this discount applied to it. So notice that right here, this is the original pricing and this is the discounted pricing. And over here, it tells you if it's a multi-pack. So this one is saying it's a 2-pack. The prep cost for a 2-pack is $1. So $1.66 times 2 plus 1 is $4.32. And that you can see that is for all these in this whole list. So now that we've got all this stuff set up, let's go ahead and go to start filtering. Let's look at the products that actually make sense. So I can add filters one by one and add like 10 or 15 filters, but I can also just come over here where it says Astro strategies and just use one of the preset filters. So I'm going to apply this one here. It says obvious choices. And what this one does, it removes all the ASINs that have any IP issues alerts. It removes all the hazmat ASINs. It removes all the ASINs where Amazon is in the buy box. It only it looks at products that have more than one FBA offer. Let's just remove that one for this scenario and this one here. Now, the bought in the past month, we're looking at products that sell more than 100. Let's just lower that to 50. It's targeting ASINs that have more than 30% ROI and products that have more than $2 profit. So let's go ahead and hit apply filters for that. And let's see how many we're left with. We've got 15 ASINs that meet this criteria. So there's 15 ASINs that can meet this criteria. Let's see how much, what type of size order we can actually place from these ASINs. Here's the shortlist section where we just send these ASINs to a shortlist. And we're just going to go ahead. We're just going to go head over to our shortlist section and click on that just to open that up and see what we can sell or not. The break even category, you see this, they're all green. So that means that they've all had historical profit. So I can check out all these charts one by one and I can confirm that they're profitable. I can see all the numbers make sense here. In this column here, we have a recommendation of how many we actually can be buying considering the sales estimate and the buy box contenders. So notice, for example, this one here sells 50 units a month. It has one buy box contender, one FBA seller in the buy box, and it's recommending, because there's one FBA seller in the buy box, maybe buy 25. That's what it's telling you. So it's just a recommendation. But basically, I would go in this one by one and look at every single ASIN, see how, check out the chart, check out how many offers there are, how many FBA offers, and see where I can price myself. I can check out how much stock they have and all these types of details and actually come up with an order. So if I wanted this one, I would say, let's say I'll buy 25 of that one. The next one, the recommendation is to buy 700. It has 2 FBA sellers, 1 and 5 FBM sellers. Let's go check out the chart. Another safe product. Amazon is in the buy box. Sorry, they're a seller of this ASIN. They're currently not in the buy box, but they have been in the past. It's a tough decision you have to make. In most scenarios, I'll just avoid an ASIN like this because I do see a bit of Amazon dominating the buy box right there. They drop the price as well. They're just not in the buy box at the moment. But let's just keep assuming that we're going to buy this. So let's say I buy 350 of these. So the way I would proceed now, I can just go ahead and apply a quantity automatically to this entire list. So I can just say apply the recommended quantity. So now from this list, I can see that I'm placing an almost $10,000 order on this entire list, and we can go ahead and proceed with this. So I can just download this purchase order and send it to my supplier and go ahead and proceed with this. But it's very important that you look at these ASINs one by one, make sure that you're buying a reasonable quantity, and then you can it makes sense for you to order these products. Now, on its own, this order would have been awesome. You have almost $10,000 worth of goods and $13.5K worth of profit. Awesome. These numbers obviously make a lot of sense. But you still have to inspect these ASINs one by one, check out the charts, check out the offers, check out all the data that you need to check out to ensure that you're going to be making profit on this order and that it's a reasonable order. So just to reiterate some of the things that you really need to focus on when you're looking at these suppliers that have long lead times. Now, most important thing is that the product's had historical profit. Now, obviously, its history is no indication of where it's going to be in the future, but it's the best thing we've got. We can see the history of the ASIN, we can see how many sellers there have been, if the seller count is going up or down, if it's trending like this, or if it's just going stable. You can see all these types of numbers and really come up with a good decision whether you're going to be buying the ASIN or not. Very important that. Now, another thing, like I said earlier, I don't think you should be paying upfront for these types of products. You're tying up your capital, and your capital should always be working to make you money. And having your capital tied up for 2 months is really not the way to go in this business, in my opinion. Sometimes even if you're only making 10% ROI, you still want your money to be invested in goods, so it's making you money. You don't want it sitting on the sideline not doing anything. So in my opinion, you want to pay when the products arrive. Super important. And then the last thing is that it makes sense to be going for these types of suppliers with long lead times if there's a potential to make a large order and you can get very, very good discounts. Otherwise, it's not worth it. There's no point to even do it. I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to get access to the Telegram group, or if you want to get access to me or Astro, check out the links in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.